My name is Jude, and today I want to share with you my journey into the world of IT and how I managed to pass all my CompTIA certifications, CompTIA A+, CompTIA Network Plus, CompTIA Security Plus in 6 weeks. That is 2 weeks for CompTIA A+, approximately 2 weeks for CompTIA Network Plus, and CompTIA Security Plus. Now sit around, watch this video to the very end, where I will share mostly what I did, what helped me as a person to maneuver into these certifications and be able to get them in 6 weeks. A little bit about my background. I do not have an IT background, I should say. I'm one of those people who started IT, a couple years ago. To be exact, less than 2 years ago. I come from Uganda. It's a little East African country. I came to the United States, I think back in 2011. And my very first job was to be a security man. But prior to coming here in Africa, in Uganda, I was starting to be a Catholic priest. And so my bachelor's was in philosophy, a minor in psychology. And obviously the Bible, because I was training to be a Catholic priest or a pastor, as you may call it. And so coming here, it never dawned to me that I would ever even think of IT as an option for me. And even coming here, first of all, getting into security as my first option is to kind of show you that it doesn't matter where you are, which kind of role you play, or what you're doing, you can get into the industry. So from being a security man, I joined the army from that. And when I joined the army, I was physically fit. I was really good at everything. So joining the army, 6 years later, I left the army. But while in the army, I took advantage, and I'm encouraging everybody actually listening to this, like every opportunity that comes to you, take advantage of it. So I took advantage and I went back to school, but I started to be an accountant. I was thinking, okay, when I leave the army, I'll be an accountant. And did my second bachelor's degree in accounting, and a master's in financial and project management. And so when I got out, I became a program analyst with the Housing Urban Development in DC, which is called HUD, H-U-D. I didn't like that. I think there's a part of me that realized I am better if I work for myself. And so I left after a year, started a real estate company, Jude K Investments, and I did fix and flips. I was a realtor at the same time, but that did not go well with me. In the COVID times, ran out of business. I did a little bit of tracking, also ran out of business. And so at end of 2022, I was at my lowest. No job, my business is gone, my credit card is over the roof. I mean, I'm talking of 6 figures in credit card debt. I have a family that looks up to me. And so I had very limited options. One of the options was, okay, I could get a job because here I am with a master's degree, but what is good with a master's degree if the salary is not reflective? And so looking at the job market at the time, my best option was, continue be an accountant, or start something, bookkeeping and stuff like that. And I realized it's gonna be a very big hurdle for me. So it was not an option. And at the time, I realized that if I joined IT, if I went into a boot camp, I could see myself growing faster, because there were people at the time talking about what I'm talking now. And so I embarked on the journey to join the IT industry, and I decided this was the time for change. I wasn't ready to settle for less than 100,000 a year, and I knew IT was going to be the way to go for me. And so I started researching, understanding what are the concepts of IT. I could have gone for a boot camp right away. Probably looking back, I should have, but I was like, I need to understand the entire concepts of IT. And there was no better certification, which I think even to this day, there's no better certification in the industry for IT than CompTIA. For those who don't know, CompTIA is a non-profit trade association that issues professional certifications for IT industry. They offer a range of certifications, but the most popular ones are A+, Network Plus, and Security Plus. These certifications are recognized globally and a great way to break into the IT industry. A plus is a good certification, and all the certifications run for 3 years. After 3 years, you can do a continuous education, the CE, to extend for another 3 years. You learn, especially with A plus, the concepts of hardware, software, networking, and troubleshooting. It's a great entry-level certification that can land you a job like IT support specialist, field service technician, desktop support administrator. The exam itself takes around 90 minutes, 90 questions, and the pass mark is a little shy over 70%. Going into Network Plus, this certification has 2 different papers. One paper is N10-008 and the other one is N10-009. So from A plus, you're doing network N10-008 and then you do N10-9009. And the certification focuses on networking concepts, infrastructure, operations, and security. It's a great certification for roles like network administrator, network engineer, and systems administrator. Equally, this exam is over 90 minutes and multi-choices. Passing score is around 720 on a scale of 100 to 900. Put that into perspective, it is over 70%, I think. And going to the last exam, which I think you need to do all 3 to really command some respect in the IT industry. If you choose to do it, just do all of them. And technically, this is one of the things that I did personally, because if you do A plus, it enlightens you with Network Plus, and it enlightens you with Security Plus. And so when it comes to Network Plus and Security Plus, you already know the basics, and you can, just kind of go through that material a little bit faster. I'm gonna share with you what I've done towards the end of the video. But coming to Security Plus, this certification is all about cybersecurity. If you want to go into cybersecurity, you probably need this certification. CompTIA gives you that option to be an all-around person. And so you will learn about the threats, attacks, and vulnerabilities, as well as risk management, cryptography, and identity and access management. With Security Plus, you can land jobs like security analyst, security engineer, and cybersecurity specialist. Security Plus also has 2 papers which you need to pass, SY0-601 and SY0-701. And each one of these is about 90 minutes, and the pass mark is around 750, which is on a scale of 100 to 900. So you need to pass a total of technically 5 papers to be crowned a certified A plus, Network Plus, and Security Plus. How did I prepare for these examinations? Number one options that you have is going through CompTIA. CompTIA offers its own recommendable tutors, and these tutors can be accessible through their platform. You can go that route and learn from one of their recommended tutors. But personally, I'm gonna share with you what I did. There's one thing that's very underestimated, and that is Udemy. I think one of the most underrated platforms out there for teaching you about anything is Udemy. Just like YouTube, Udemy has great tools and great different courses that you could search for. But for me, I was able to find a gentleman called Mike Myers. He was a great teacher, and a couple of others that I listened to. Now, being able to study for something for 2 weeks and do an exam, because now I'm talking of A plus right now. As soon as I knew I was going to do A plus first, I was immersed in this education day and night. I didn't do nothing. I was literally studying every day, evening and night, over 12 hours listening to as much material as possible. And I was using Udemy. The other thing that I did was a guy I listened to was called Professor Mesa. Professor Mesa is quite good. I like the fact that he helped me understand, going through different concepts and the practical part of the exam, because exam is multi-choice, but it also has elements that they will draw for you a computer, and then they will ask you to name it, name the different parts. Or they would draw for you wiring a building, and then they would ask you to choose and pick how the different wires are supposed to move from point A to point B. And then so Professor Mesa kind of helped me a lot in preparation for that, and a lot of questions. But when it came listening to the content, Udemy was my way to go, especially with between Myers and Jason DeYoung, and then a little bit of Professor Mesa as well. So if you're a mediocre, if you're just taking a little bit of time, you could still pass. But honestly speaking, I put in quite a number of time. One other thing that you have to understand that sitting for these exams costs money. Now, if you're a veteran like me, I'll show you how to get reimbursements for these classes. There's a program called VetTech that allows you to take these courses for free without needing to use your post 9/11 chapter 33 or Montgomery GI Bill benefits to sit for these certifications. Right now it has stopped accepting applications, but if you were qualified for this right here, you would save a lot of money. You would study for free. I use this VetTech right here for my web development bootcamp. I didn't use it for these certifications. I was able to get reimbursements back with my GI Bill. You can also use your GI benefits, and if you fail the exam, you could still get a reimbursement from VA. So I use my GI Bill for paying my certifications. VA would potentially reimburse you for the amount of money that you spend on these exams. For example, you pay for an A+ exam, which is around $253. Once you have a receipt of payment and you've done your exam, you can send this. I sent them to New York, and I got a reimbursement, a check of the amount. And I was told, actually, if you failed, they would still pay for the next paper that you would do, as long as you send these receipts. Now, CompTIA uses its professors, and their professors tend to have a cheaper rate, which would save you around $30, like, for example, Professor Mesa, and others that are recommended on the platform, CompTIA platform. If you go through any of those professors, you would potentially save $30 on each paper that you sit for. If you're not a veteran, probably you would take a loan. You could join a boot camp that you can reimburse after you're done with school. I've seen a lot of advertisements when it comes to IT, but it's most commonly with web development boot camps, whereby they would allow you to study, and you would pay after you're done with school. You would take those programs to be able to get the money to sit for these certifications. If you want to schedule for these exams, you can go directly through CompTIA and pay for your exam, or you can also use vouchers from third parties, affiliations, and teachers to offset the cost of the exam by $30. Once you've paid, you can choose to take the exam either at home or at a test center through Pearson VUE. One thing that I want to say about this is I did my exams at home, but Pearson VUE is a little bit sensitive, so you gotta be a little bit careful here. Any slight movements, anything in the background can literally make you be kicked off out of the exam. And then you have, I think, 3 hits. If you look off the screen for some time, they'll give you 1 hit. If there's noise in the background, that would be another hit. And if you have 3 hits, you're done for the exam. You just lost your entire 249. So you have to be careful if that's something you want to do. Last but not least, I think I told you, I'll share with you at the very end. I did little listening to the materials. I understood, I listened, and my listening was to understand. But what you have to realize, guys, is you will never learn everything from books. Whatever you do after is what is going to train you to be the person you want to be. A lot of these are concepts, but once you start your job, you literally have a chance to learn and see and practically touch most of these things. This is my personal opinion, and this is what I've used a lot, and this is what I learned from somebody. Don't spend too much time fixated on the material, because you never practically get anywhere from just reading and looking at stuff if you don't do it. In the IT industry, you always be learning on the job. That's the beauty of IT. So just focus on passing the exam and cram if you have to. Say for example, networking, if you're just looking at, questions and the material, but you never been in the field to network, you can never go to the field and be a good networker than the person doing the job. So don't spend a lot of time cram this material if you have to. Now, there's one last thing I don't 100% recommend, but it's out there for consumption, and that's the use of exam dumps. These are not authorized, and if you're caught using them, your certification will be cancelled. However, they do offer an exact insight into what the exam will look like. What exam dumps are, it's just exam dumps. They technically provide you exactly how the potential questions of the exams are going to look like. If you have an exam dump, you have to study. It's not something that you're gonna just look at and pass. You still have to study. But like I said, I do not 100% recommend this because they don't teach you much. What I recommend, read as many questions as possible. Listen to as little information from the tutors as possible, and immerse yourself in questions. And this is what I did. I spent 1 week understanding the concepts, and then I spent almost a week just reading questions every day and understanding the questions, because you want to pass. The point is for you to pass, to have this certification, and then look for a job that is really going to give you a hands-on on what you've studied. Just read as many questions as possible. I think I read over thousands and thousands of questions for me to be able to pass. And I was even listening to YouTube questions and all that. So don't spend too much time on the material. Understand what it's all about, and then read as many questions as possible, as many times as possible. This will be your key to passing. At least it worked for me. It works for everybody. It works every day. Read the questions. Listen, cram, pass the exam. Don't overdwell on the textbooks and what it really is unless you have the time. But if you don't have the time and you just want to pass the exam, do just that. For me, after passing my CompTIA, I was able to enroll in the web development camp, and I did my JavaScript and was able to get a job, which I dreamt for. Now with the AI coming in, that's a different conversation. Where is it going from here? Are we gonna lose the market at some point, be taken over? Don't overdwell on that. Don't be deceived. Come and learn. Come, get into the industry if you have to. You still have a place, and you still have an opportunity for you to get in and earn as much money as you can, as possible. So if you're on the journey to take these tests, I wish you the best of luck and Godspeed on your passing. If you found any value in this video useful, please subscribe. I would appreciate it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Jude, bye.